ladies and gentlemen, and welcome, at least until now, to the final episode of the Spider-Man Retrospective.
Yes.
You never know, there's probably some other Spider-Man shows.
At some point, if we guarantee there will be more Spider-Man content, we're going to review Far From Home and the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
But for now, this is it.
And you know what, if this ever becomes a job, we'll just review every Spider-Man TV show that's ever been. There's a 60s animated show, which is quite bad, but quite great.
Mm-hmm.
But nowhere on par with what this series was. I am the Amazing Travis Snail.
I am the wall-crawling menace.
And this is...
the battle van.
Battle van.
The battle van.
Oh, Battle Van. So this is, you know how Farewell Spider-Man was a nice closure, those last 11 minutes, we talked about it on the previous episode. First, listen to that.
Please, if you missed any episodes, you gotta watch that last one. That one,
100%.
There's a lot that happens.
Yeah, so go check them all. Like I said, if this is your first time catching on, you're like rankings, go back and watch that show again at this age. And if you ever watch it, even at this age. I think Tess got a good time for the episodes he's on.
For the most part, it's like 90% or more of the episodes are fun, are worth a watch. Yeah. And are actually good. Pretty good show. So
what we're going to do, this is going to close it out as like a big farewell. We did this with the MCU, we did this with Saw. We like to do rankings like it's a closure, it's to do it also. We have some rankings. We have the best one-liners. We have, no, I just said that to scare Dylan. We have top 10 characters. We got villains, episodes, seasons, and finales. What do we want? I'd like to start with the worst and work our way up, so I would like to start with finales. If you
sure.
I say we close with characters.
This one's pretty easy, right?
Yeah, that's what I want to build out. I say we close with characters.
Okay.
So finales. So this was tough. We just talked about it, and
I want to just quickly put a disclaimer out there that we've been doing this for a long time now,
3
over
years.
a year.
3 years for sure.
Really?
We're 3.5 years. I think
we've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, at least I know.
This is one of our first spin-offs.
Yeah.
Because of that, I've only seen these episodes once, maybe a couple of them twice as we've watched through them. So yeah, my memory on like what happens in exactly what episode, that's hard to say. And I will admit that there might be some recency bias in here because like even particularly in the last couple months, we've had some trouble scheduling. Obviously, Kyle got kicked out of here at one point. Big shout out to Kyle, though, for being here for at least 3 seasons or so.
We didn't kick him out. He got busy with work, and he just said, hey, if you guys want to finish the show, you got to do without me or you're never going to. Yeah. So we were,
something like top 10 episodes, that's probably the one category for me where that's probably the trickiest and probably the least accurate, but the rest, I think this is going to be some fun.
So this
top
one...
10 finale. Finales, in order.
I had it...
I think we have the same one as the worst. Should we start from the bottom? We start from the bottom.
The Prowler is easily the worst.
The Prowler's got to be the worst because it's not a closing of anything. It's just like a new character that's introduced randomly. It doesn't set up for the next season. It's not even that great of an episode on its own.
No, it just is dropped there. It's like a mid-episode season episode, and it happens at the finale, and it's very frustrating. I was tripping over my words there is because we started this September 11th, 2016. So not 3 years, but it'll be coming on 3 years in September. So 2.5 years, pretty much.
That's crazy.
Crazy. So I'm going to give this video a like because I like my own videos if I'm watching them. So
the Prowler, that was an easy one.
The Prowler, yeah. So that was an easy one. I went the Chameleon next.
Yeah, me too.
Because it was a fun episode. I like Chameleon, but to be the ending of season 1, I think we talked about this when we reviewed them, should have just been Venom. It should have just ended that way.
Yeah, exactly, right? Because the Chameleon didn't, if I remember correctly, it didn't require any setup from like any episodes. It was essentially just obviously the first season's a lot of one-off episodes where it's introducing this character, that character. And in Chameleon's, it introduced some other characters, but none of them were needed for, like, obviously, you didn't need it to be the last episode.
No.
The Venom, it was a trilogy, I think, or was it?
It was a trilogy, yeah.
So that was,
it was
intense, it was a triple, and it was a big character. So that definitely was a mysterious ending of the season. Once again, doesn't really set up for anything in the next seasons. So, yeah.
You had to see Nick Fury, that was about it. But, like, Venom would have been the perfect finale there. Mm-hmm. So... Number 3, I think we'll probably have similar rankings. The Final Nightmare. Yeah. Fun Vulture stuff, fun. He turns into Man Spider. Mm-hmm. It was a big culmination of the Tablet of Time. I think the Tablet of Time is not one of my favorite storylines.
No, it's not. I think that one is firmly slotted above Chameleon Prowler because it's just like a better episode on its own.
And it's all leading towards it's multiple characters. Like Silvermane was in there. I think it's that episode or the episode before he turns into the baby.
Tombstone's probably in there.
Yeah. Morbius, I don't think he's in there, but he's talked about because they used that gun he was using. Remember, that's what turns him into Man Spider. So number 2, I have Farewell Spider-Man.
Okay, go for it.
The reason I had that is just because, number 1, when I get to it, is that I just felt it was a stronger episode as far as tying everything together, where there was so much fantastical stuff. I love it. You have the Uncle Ben stuff, you got Stan Lee, but I think I just gave number 1 finale, which we'll talk about number 1, just because it was a culmination of a few seasons storyline going, and the episode's called Turning Point. It's called that way for a reason, because it does really change the entire show after that, and it was a big lead up to when's Green Goblin going to happen, and they used him well, and we almost see Spider-Man kill a guy. It's one of those, like I said, the episodes that are high up for me are ones that feel like movie quality, and that does. Where this did feel like movie quality, but at the same point, for me, it was just because there was so much stuff happening. I went with just a more isolated episode for number 1. So that's why I put Turning Point.
Yeah, I put Turning Point as number 2, and then Farewell as number 1. I think they're both fantastic, like, season finales, or even, like, obviously, Farewell is a serious finale as well, but I think they're both great, and that they would both set up to the next season. Either way, you're looking forward to the next one. I think Turning Point's a little bit better at that, which makes sense, because it actually has another season after it. But yeah, it really just throws a wrench in this universe by having Mary Jane put away into another dimension, and also
then Goblin goes
and Green Goblin as well, like what's happening with him, and he ends up coming back as well.
And that plays into Harry's story as well.
Whereas I think Farewell Spider-Man, for me, like, I guess the episode's lacking like a Aunt May encounter or something, but I feel like, and even he's not even in the universe that we're actually watching the rest of the show in. But it's still it's a great send-off for the character and for the show. Obviously, we talked about this, the Stan Lee moment. Mm-hmm. That's a fantastic way to just as like a, farewell Spider-Man. It's saying goodbye to the show. And I think both of them are so strong. You could make a case for either of them. But, those were proper finales of a season.
100%. Even then, I'd still say the Final Nightmare is a proper finale. Just I don't like it as much. But it is like... because I looked when I was looking, we were ranking the seasons. It was like a 4-parter thing, so it was a build up to something. It's just that I didn't love the tablet at the time, so that was never gonna be that high up for me. But seasons next, because we're kind of talking about that.
Let's do seasons.
So seasons, I firmly put. So we'll go from bottom to top. I firmly put 4 as my least favorite season. I got Wikipedia up right now because I'll list off some of the episodes here.
I didn't really list any negatives. I just kind of listed the pros for each one, so that might be a downfall for me.
Yeah, okay. Because with season 4, you had the introduction of Black Cat, and that was when that went on for a while. You had the Vampire Queen, so Blade and Morbius going on. You had Return of the Green Goblin, Harry takes over. I think for me, it was just these last set of episodes was The Haunting of Mary Jane Watson, Lizard King and the Prowler. I think this is why I gave it 4. This was my hardest one to rank. The reason I gave it 4 is because I don't have a single, I don't think, two-thumber episode. If not, I might on the Black Cat, but there's not one like a Venom, the Mutant Agenda, the Daredevil one. In season 4, there wasn't a huge, like, I love this episode or 2-part, where they're all a bunch of just good, solid ones, but that's why that was number 4, or that was ranked 5th for me. Season 4 was ranked last.
So I had season 3 as my last one.
Okay,
which is the same as you had season 4 as your...
I had season 4 as last one.
So yeah,
and for viewers, it has Doctor Strange, it has Make a Wish, has Enter Green Goblin, Rocket Racer, the Daredevil episodes, and then the Goblin Wars and Turning Points. I'm surprised you ranked it last.
Yeah, I mean, this is like one of those things as well where it's just my memory on like what happens in all these episodes or seasons. Even though I can read through the list, it's hard to remember like my emotional, like where I felt about each one. But I think why I put this one down there is that, like, I guess it didn't really have like some overarching theme or like a big like multi-parters that really were as gripping. Yeah. Even though I like that almost every season except for 5 really has a couple like just one-off episodes in there, which I think are good. They're a nice change of pace.
I think the Carnage and Venom ones were big disappointments for us because we want more of Carnage and he's just like a side. And especially Venom we like so much. I'm surprised because the one I'm surprised about is because Goblin War is a great episode.
It is. I think so. I put, just to jump forward here, I put as my number 4. I put season 4, the one you put, and I think maybe the reason why it jumped ahead is one. I actually love the Haunting of Mary Jane episode. That's the one where Mysterio's in there, and then you go and there's like this catacomb under the fucking Hollywood the movie studio.
I'm not a fan.
And I just thought that episode was so over the top and crazy, and I love Mysterio. But I think the reason I put it up there is because that's in season that introduces Black Cat, and she's used it a lot throughout.
Yeah.
And she is, one of my favorite characters, and I just love that introduction of that character throughout that season. So I think it was solely because of that reason, because of Black Cat, that I gave the slight bump, whereas season 3 didn't have some individual character that just defined the season necessarily.
Fair enough. So my second last place might surprise you. I put season 5.
Yeah.
The reason was love the finale, love the first half. That's those 6 Forgotten Warriors for me. I've never been a fan of that storyline. I haven't seen Cap, and the fact that it's 5 episodes just eats a chunk. If it wasn't for the strong back half, the Clone Saga, and the Secret Wars, this would have been dead last for me. And the other thing that's great is the Mary Jane clone reveal. That's so much fun. That's really good. But those 6 Forgotten Warriors, that brought down for me. So that's why that's ranked second last for me, because I don't like those storylines at all, really.
I'll jump right ahead of here because my number 3, I'm going to put season 5.
Mm-hmm.
I like the Forgotten Warriors episodes more than you did.
Yeah.
I think we talked about in that episode that it didn't really need to be 4 episodes necessarily, but
5.
Is it 5?
It's 5. It's 5 parts. I checked
really?
it. Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Isn't it 4 and then
I think there's a one set of 1, but let me see.
Because it's the wedding and then the 4, isn't it?
Let's see. No, part 5, the price of heroism.
Okay, I guess I was wrong. So yeah, I think that's the interesting thing about season 5 is it doesn't have any one-off episodes because the marriage, it kind of sets the season, and it's kind of that moment you were looking. It almost was set up from the end of season 3, right? Or
season 4.
Season 4 rather.
Not really, because it's a problem.
And then it has 5 episodes of Forgotten Warriors, and it has essentially Secret Wars and Spider Wars are technically 2 different parts, but as we said, it kind of feels like a 5-parter, right? It's one continuous story. So this season really is just it's almost like a traditional series of a Netflix show, Netflix Marvel show, where it's kind of just bigger stories told. So I think I like having a little bit of one-offs in there. This also did have Hydro Man in it too, though.
Yeah, which redeemed himself, because I forgot this episode was actually good.
And I like the Forgotten Warriors episodes. I think, you could have taken out 1 or even 2 of them, replaced them with a couple one-off episodes. It would have been better. And obviously the ending 5-parter with the Beyonder has its problems, but it's still really, really interesting and cool to see. But that Hydro Man episode is so good that it really brings up the season for me enough to bump out seasons 4 and 3 on my list here.
So you've done 3. You've revealed 3 seasons, right? So we're in our top 2. So
you didn't do your number 3, right?
I did my number 3. I did. My last rank was 4. My 4th rank was 5, and then season 3 was. Maybe I've not revealed that was 3 now. Yeah, maybe I have. Yeah, now. Really good. I'm trying to look at where the episodes were so I can remember, because I wanted to be higher because the Man Without Fear and Framed, those Daredevil episodes I loved, and that also has Turning Point. The problem is it has a lot of stinker episodes for me, or just episodes I don't care. Rock Racer, one of the worst things I've ever seen. It's not that bad, but just in the context of this show, I like.
It's probably the worst show. Episode.
I like Tombstone, but for his own episode, Ultimate Slayer, so that's back. So I think for me it was just there's a few.
Yeah, is that a Smythe robot episode?
Yeah, Attack of the Autobot, things like that, Make-A-Wish. So that's the thing for me. There's a few episodes where I love Doctor Strange episode, but I could take or leave some other ones. So I will reveal I'll reveal my 2 and 1 right now, and then you can go. I put season number 1 as my second favorite, and then season number 2 is the first favorite. Did you have it flipped?
I had my second favorite as season 1.
Oh,
same as you?
Yeah, same. Yeah. Or
and then the second season as the best season.
Yeah. Okay, we're in agreement on the top 2. Yeah. Season 1 almost got there, but just because it's a lot of setup. Season 2, the only thing that sucks is but the Tower of Time is not the strongest finish. But you had
Insidious 6. It's a big one. You have the X-Men episodes.
Those are so good.
You have the introduction of Punisher and Blade, who are great recurring
and that goes into Morbius, which Morbius is a really...
Yeah, goes right into Morbius, who ends up being... At first, I was a little lower on him, I think, but he really became an awesome character, and obviously you gotta attribute some of that to the start.
Yeah, and it gets me excited, because I feel like if you've not seen the show or read the comics, you don't know who Morbius is. I really hope they do a good job with that movie. Jared Leto aside, I hope he pulls out. There's a lot to do with this character, and I think they do. Morbius is in 4 or 5 episodes, but they're so good. That's the only thing that takes 2 down with me is like the shot, like the Vulture stuff. But even then,
I like Vulture.
no, but even then, I like the Vulture stuff. They tied it into some of the science was going on. So to me, just was one was tough because I love some of these episodes like Menace Mysterio. I love obviously Venom. I talked about. I think Venom I'll say for episodes, but it's some of the best episodes. And Hobgoblin's 2-parter is great, but I just gave 2 just a slight edge because it had a lot of good, that Morbius stuff, the mutants, and the Insidious Six.
Yeah.
You gotta love it.
Yeah, for the same reason, like, season 2 was just full of heavy hitters.
Yeah.
And then, season 1, I think, falls a bit behind, right, because first 3 episodes aren't that great. They're still trying to figure it out. Like, I still remember that the first episode, Spider-Man's quipping so much. It's way too much. I was super annoyed by the character. And then, Spider Slayer, just kind of lame. But it ends up picking up with, it's so odd. Like, the first Dr. Octopus episode is his best episode. Mysterio, it's probably his best episode. You also have, Hobgoblin 2-parter is... I love Hobgoblin.
Oh, yeah.
Venom 3-parter is fantastic. Even, Chameleon, we talked about not the greatest season finale.
But good episode.
But still a good episode, and obviously an important character who comes back various times throughout the show. So, season 1 definitely set the stage. And that was probably, like, the sweet spot. That and season 2 were the sweet spot for the MJ Felicia back and forth.
100%.
By far my favorite part of this show. Recording doing these episodes is talking about that back and forth. That's constantly happening.
Yeah, because the end of the show didn't really have that. MJ was gone. Felicia.
It makes sense, and it develops into some other really fun storylines. But that was a fun era of the show as well.
Yeah. Want to do episodes next?
Let's do episodes because this one is. I feel the worst about this one. Like, this is the hardest one to remember, like, exactly what goes on in each episode. Like, I love that MJ Felicia stuff, but I cannot remember, like, where the spicy stuff happens in what episodes, because that's not the stuff they put in the description of the shows. It's, obviously, they just kind of highlight the villain.
It was always sprinkled throughout. I'm the same thing. I don't know if I have one specific in my top 10, but whatever episode was the one where they were all in a room together with Detective Lee, and they had a fight where MJ was like, how do you know, like, you and Felicia are thinking, and then Felicia, MJ went with Harry, and then Felicia was hugging Peter. Whatever episode that is, that's in the top 10, and it's not in mine, but it's somewhere in there. So just an asterisk, the same thing. They just sprinkle it. It's always like 5 minutes in an episode here and there, but when you, I need like a compilation.
Yeah, and another thing, like the episode where you finally get the backstory on Uncle Ben. I don't remember what episode that's from, but that was a great moment, and that, like, just that moment alone probably could have brought that episode into my top 10, and hell no. Maybe it's even in this, maybe it's even in my top 10, I just don't know.
Because there's a lot of title names, like how it used to do top 10, then I'll do my top 10 instead of back and forth, because it's...
Yeah, I'll just rifle through this. So, number 10, I put Dr. Octopus's intro episode, Armed and Dangerous.
I love the title, Armed and Dangerous.
Very good pun. Number 9, I put The Haunting of Mary Jane Watson. I just love...
Oh my god, number 9 out of how many episodes?
I'm telling you, man, it's too hard to remember these, like, the individual episodes. I love that episode.
There's 65 episodes and The Haunting got it in there?
It did, because I love how cheesy and over the top it was. I love Mysterio. I love that it actually, like, gave Mysterio some character, because before that, like, he's fun because of all of his antics and his holocubes, but he doesn't have much depth, but this episode actually gives him some of that. It was fun to see, like, that side of MJ. I remember it was a nice callback to the bridge that had, that bridge has come up a few times in the show, and I remember that was, like, a big part of it as well. So, yeah, I don't know, I put it as number 9. I'm not confident in this top 10
episodes. That's fair enough. You said that. So
I did admit some recency bias. A lot of this stuff is from season 5. I will put, as number 8, Farewell Spider-Man, the last episode. Probably could be higher, but I didn't want to be too forward with my recency bias, although it probably deserves to be a little bit higher. Episode 7, I put Enter the Punisher. Love Punisher's intro episode. The Battle Van even has a micro in there. Episode 6, number 6. Ranking 6, I put The Wedding. Great episode. A lot in there with Green Goblin and craziness. Number 5, I put Hobgoblin. Part 2, I can't remember which one I would like more out of Hobgoblin Part 1 and 2. I feel like Part 2 is probably the better one, so I put that one. Number 4, I put Hydro Man Part 2, which was that big reveal where MJ wasn't actually MJ the whole time. Crazy reveal, super, something I would have never expected. Just totally changes the landscape of, like, what you've been watching for the longest time, and it has such weight to it, right?
Oh yeah.
Number 3, I put Mutants Revenge. That's the second part of X-Men. X-Men Duel. Number 2, I put Alien Costume. can't remember what episode it is. I was talking to you about this before. Whatever episode had the like nightmare scene.
I think it's the
where
first
it's
one
like
because that's
just
when
some
it
dream
attaches.
sequence where Venom. Just a super trippy scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that whole trilogy was great, but I would probably put that individual episode as that.
Because I think the first one's when it attaches Peter, the second one's about him getting it off, and the third one's just him Brock as Venom. Yeah. So I think that's the first one there.
As number one, I put Turning Point, which
but not your fair finale though.
Yeah, that's where this list is just a total mess.
Hey, it's our list.
That is a fantastic episode. We just talked about it, but a lot goes on, and it's once again like the Hydro Man episode. Has huge stakes. Between that one and Hydro Man probably has the biggest stakes in terms of the landscape of the show, and it's obviously all related around MJ, but yeah, fantastic episode, that one.
Okay, so I just have a few quick honorable mentions. I really, really hate Clones. The Cat, it's one of the Black Cat episodes. I put that
I forgot a Black Cat episode.
Yeah, but it was tough. I don't know how many were strong. I also had Armed and Dangerous. I had Enter Punisher as a honorable mention. Morbius episode when he's originally like first Morbius and he's looking for plasma, and then the Gauntlet of the Red Skull, just because it was like Infinity War. It wasn't the strongest episode, but it was fun seeing them all together. So my top 10: number 10, Menace of Mysterio.
Yeah.
I love Mysterio. It's a great origin episode. Number 9, Turning Point. We've talked about that a lot. It's a great episode. It was a turning point. Number 8, same as you, I got Farrell, Spider-Man, because I think it's really good. It's fun, but also it's it's a lot of junk food. It's a lot of course it'd be great. Number 7, I put the Insidious Six because I loved seeing all those people together. Even though I hate the concept of the Insidious Six, I like those villains together. Number 6, I had the Hobgoblin, part 1 or part 2, I'm not sure, but one of those. Number 5, I had Enter Green Goblin. There's lots of build up, and
I probably should put the Green Goblin on.
I loved that one. That's when he has that Statue of Liberty. I still thought it could have been a 2-part, but I really liked it. Number 4, The Man Without Fear. The first one is framed when Matt's just the lawyer. I put Man Without Fear because that's when he's Daredevil. I did some Wikipedia reading to refresh my memory. Number 3, I put the first Mutant Agenda, the Mutant episode, because the reason I put the first one is because that's more of Wolverine and Spider-Man together, and they're like fighting it, so that's why I like their back and forth.
Yeah, that was a long time ago. So.
Yeah. Number 2, I put Goblin War, Green Goblin v Hobgoblin, had to put that in there. And my favorite episode of all time is Venom the Alien Costume, episode 3, because you know that image of him driving a truck and just honking his horn? I love it.
That's a classic moment. Eddie Brock in his finest.
Well, you went first, so I'll go first this time with villains. 10, you know what? I give a shout out to Dormammu. He's in the series quite a bit. He's tinkering around on his stuff, so I gave him a shout out. I put him in there. That's why he's 10, because he's not an OG villain, but he has a lot of big moments in there.
He's important, right? Because he's like guiding Carnage, and Carnage is
he tricks Mary Jane at one point with like the hell with Baron Mordor. So he's got like a puppet master at some point.
I forgot about how much he did. I'm adding him to my honorable mentions.
9, I put a Chameleon. I love Chameleon. I love that belt. I love everything about him. He kind of got the bump over Scorpion. I don't know why, but I'm like, I'm going to give Chameleon some love. Vulture, he has some fun dialogue. He has some fun episodes too of aging back and forth. 7, gotta go Shocker. Shocker's my favorite.
Shocker.
You know what? I'm going to bump him up. I'm going to put him to 6 because number 7 now is Carnage. I love Carnage. I thought they did a good representation of him just being psycho in this series, but they needed a lot more of him. He didn't get used that much. So 7 was Carnage. Shocker is number 6. 5 is Doc Ock because Doc Ock is he's a man. He's great.
He kind of went downhill a little bit, but still
that's why he's not
his
higher.
His fucking bowl cut, his glasses, his look. Like the look is a big part of it too, right?
Yeah. Number 4 is Mysterio. I love Mysterio. One of the weaker villains, but damn. Other than the haunting episode, I love when he's around. I love him throwing his hollow cubes. They're great. Number 3, I put Venom. I think the reason he's not higher, he was my favorite episode, just because he's only in that 3-parter.
He could have been in more.
Yeah, he could have been in more. I put number 2, Green Goblins, all of them, because, they're all fun. I like different versions. And number 1, I'm not sure if Dylan's going to have the same, but I had to put Hobgoblin. I felt like...
Really? You forgot a big one.
Fisk?
A big one.
Yeah. Then I would I'd bump Chameleon, then I'd put Fisk. You're 100% right. And I would probably, I messed up my rankings 100%. So yeah, if Fisk is in there, he'd probably you know what? Bump everyone down and put Fisk at 5 because I love So that's sorry, Chameleon, you're getting the dump. But Hobgoblin, I put at number 1 because other than Felicia and MJ, it was fun seeing Dylan and Kyle just talk every week when he was on who he was, and I knew who he was. And the show did such a good job of playing him up.
Like I had no idea. Mark
Hamill does such a good voice acting job. That voice is so good, and he was honestly, the show was missing sometimes when he was gone, when they did the reveal. So yeah,
that was a little reveal right there. You only had one left, and I was like, is it Fisk or Hobgoblin?
yeah. So yeah, Hobgoblin number one with forgetting about Fisk there, but
I'm gonna go through my honorable mentions first.
Boom.
Obviously Dormammu, I forgot how much he actually does, and he is really cool. I want to give an honorable mention to Smythe. Now, Smythe doesn't deserve to be in the top 10, but he's around so much. He has quite a crazy story.
Yeah.
He is probably the worst thing to look at out of villains. That's something you got to take into account. That's something that for a villain, right? Is how scary, like intimidating and scary they look. So Smythe, sometimes he didn't get the best development, but I feel like he worked hard. I feel like he put in the most hours to try and have the best character, and it just didn't work out necessarily. I wanted to throw an honorable mention to Electro as well. He just didn't get nearly enough screen time to be warranted on the top 10.
But it could have been.
But in that episode he was really cool, loved his look, and thought he was a really well done villain.
Yeah.
Number 10, this one's going to be surprising, but I put him in here. Spot. I put the Spot.
I thought I was surprised. You really liked the Spot. I like him too.
I love the Spot. I thought he just had cool powers. He looked cool. I liked his story. Like he kind of.
I am the Spot.
Played off Tony Stark. Yeah, I like how kind of cheesy he was.
Yeah.
And yeah, he would technically kind of showed up in the end there.
Yeah.
With the world ending stuff, so that was kind of fun. Number 9, I put Tombstone. Tombstone's kind of like my.
Really? I'm surprised.
He's kind of like my goon slot. Because I just thought he was really funny. Like he's one of those villains who doesn't have the development that's like why they're bad. He was just pure bad. But I loved his look. I loved his Robbie. Like that episode, I don't remember it being the best episode, but I still thought it was just like a funny way to build up both those characters. Like they both got a lot more development in that episode, and I didn't expect it coming from the two of them. But yeah, I just loved how he was just such a bad guy. He just whoever's paying him the most money, he'll do whatever it takes.
Yep.
Number 8, I put Vulture. It was fun seeing his back and forth, and I love his look. I love the teal, the turquoise that he had. It was
so
super
good.
Cool. Number 6, I put Morbius. Morbius.
Oh, yeah.
He kind of turns to.
I got him somewhere else. That's why.
It's tricky because he is like a good guy in the end. But I felt because there's a couple of those people who they're a villain, they turn good, vice versa. My criteria was what do they spend more of the show as?
Fair enough.
And for me, Morbius spent more time as a villain. Obviously, he ends up in that full vampire mode at one point.
See, I took the reverse because I took in Michael Morbius as well. There's a few episodes where he's just Michael Morbius.
That's true.
Scientist,
That's a good point.
I think he goes either way.
I just kind of put Morbius as a bad guy. He was a really fun villain, and even when he was still a good guy, he's still he's probably still eating people on the side, so he's not fully a good guy.
Yeah.
Number 5, I put Dr. Octopus.
Mm-hmm.
Once again, obviously he. I think I'm gonna put Morbius slightly above Dr. Octopus, but whatever.
Okay.
Anyway, I love the look. Obviously, he went downhill, but I still remember that scene where he's locked in that prison cell, and they just put him in the middle of the room, and each one of his arms is strung to a different edge of the wall.
Really good.
He comes up time and time again. Yes, he kind of falls off in terms of how villainous he really is. He kind of becomes a goon.
He's always fun to watch.
He's always a character. I'm glad he's on screen. Number 4, I put Kingpin. The big bad Kingpin, 90%, 90% muscle, thick man, always around, always fun, fantastic voice, such a fun character. I'm so glad he was in the show as much as he was. Number 3, I put his Venom. Once again, probably could have been higher. That just shows how much he's in the show. Like Dr. Octopus, Morbius, Kingpin, Green Goblin. They're all in the show a lot more than he is, but they are lower than him on my list because of how cool Venom is. For how much he's in there.
It also just shows my sadness for the Venom movie that exists that I like, but I still.
It's not the Venom movie.
It's not what I want.
Number 2, I put Mysterio.
Okay.
Love Mysterio. Love his antics. Love his hollow cubes. And I'm biased because he's giving me a point in the comic.
I can't wait till July.
Yeah, I can't wait to see him on the big screen.
They better deliver.
That's gonna be so good.
If that villain is not good, that movie's gonna rank real low.
I'm gonna be sad, but I'm not gonna be that sad because I still get 2 points. Number 1, I put the man, the myth, the legend, Hobgoblin.
So no Green Goblin as well, anywhere on the list. That was your big miss.
I had it was number 7. Maybe I forgot to mention it.
Okay, maybe that I could have forgotten.
I think I just forgot to say it. No, I definitely forgot to say it.
Okay.
Yep, I put him. Green Goblin's number 7.
So yeah, Hobgoblin.
Hobgoblin was number 1.
Yeah.
He was just pure evil. But you're right. His voice was so good. His pumpkin bombs, his flyers,
that purple glider.
He had multiple flyers. Yeah, he had a smaller one. He had a bigger one. He had a flyer on top of a flyer.
And he was always mixing it in. He was in the Mutant episodes.
When he was working both sides with Kingpin, so good. But I love that his motives are always just whatever makes the most money. I love that he was just like he was a simple villain.
Engaged to Felicia. He had a huge story.
Yeah, really, like, he has so much to him and a fantastic look. I really, Green Goblin always gets the favor on the big screen, but I want to see Hobgoblin.
100%, especially because the Green Goblin done so much, they should do. And that's the thing, like, I don't think you'll ever rewatch the show start to finish again, but I think in your life you'll be like, oh, I want to rewatch some of those Hobgoblin episodes, and he's so good, so.
Yeah. Characters. Now, I have a quick question for you before we do this. Did you count Peter Parker / Spider-Man as a character? Because I just figured he'd be like 0, he'd be like the number 1.
I did. I don't know who I'd put as number. I guess I would just say then I'd put like Robbie in as 10.
Well,
I did put him as
either way works. That's actually funny you say Robbie, because if I put Spider-Man on the list, Robbie's number 10. He's getting the boot,
so I put Spider-Man as number 1. So same thing. Yeah, we can go up. So Robbie was my number 10, and you go and then I'll go. Yeah.
So honorable mentions, quick. I put Doctor Strange here. Love Doctor Strange, but he's only in like 1 episode, so it's hard to put him in the top 10. Daredevil, I think I just don't. I don't remember those episodes as much as I should have, but I remember liking the episode. I just can't remember like any specific scene with him, I guess. I threw an honorable mention to Debbie. She was great. She had like a big story in 1 episode, but it was a fun character to have around. I'm just realizing I totally forgot a character, so I'm gonna have to bump someone. But I had an honorable mention as Mariah as well. It was fun seeing her and Craven doing their thing. Let me see. I have to quickly boot someone for another character. You know what? I'm not going to count Spider-Man on this list. I'm going to boot Robbie down to honorable mention. Okay. And I'm going to put Harry Osborn in here, number 10. I just forgot about him. Obviously, he turns evil, but he spends a lot of the time...
He's my OG number 10.
He spends a lot of time as just a regular guy, and not because he's a great guy, but it's just so funny seeing everyone shit on him.
That's why
it's so much fun, like, talking about his hair and, like, his orange vest and, like, his bleached jeans that he always wore. He was a fun character to have around.
That's why he made my list, because we talk about him so much. So.
Yeah, but he also had a great turn as a bad guy, so that was fun. Number 9, I'm going to put as Aunt May. Yeah, she didn't have, like, some fantastic moment or development. She was always just kind of there, but it's Aunt May. I love her. She's nice. She's nice. Number 8, I put as Craven. You might think, he deserves to be a villain, but once again, this is a character who spent more time as a good guy than he did a bad guy. He only had 1 episode as a bad guy, and then probably 3 or so where he was around as a good guy. So I really liked him. I thought he was a lot of fun. He always had the theme. He had the really nice voice.
Yeah.
And of course he was always just wearing crazy things around his neck. That was fun to see. Number 7 I put as Kirk Connors. Obviously he spends a lot of time as Lizard, but I love that how much he's like helping Peter out. He's kind of like the father figure. We see that a lot in like the wedding episode, and they kind of look to him as like he has to be there, how important he is.
And like his father.
And he gets, enough development between, like, you actually get to meet his family throughout and such. So that was fun. Number 6 I put as Blade. Blade's a lot of fun. I love Blade. He has, he has a great, like, theme that always plays. I love his dialogue. I love that his
weird relationship with Detective Lee.
Super weird detective relationship there. He's a weird character because obviously there's things like Dormammu or Beyonder who are just like interdimensional, like crazy grand scale stuff. And then a lot of them are just kind of like evil guys, people in a rhino costume or a scorpion costume fighting. But then Blade is just hunting vampires.
Somewhere in the middle.
It doesn't fit within this world, but it's there. You would think it would because of all the other stuff. But yeah, at the same time it does. It's just this vampire hunter with a sword who's cruising around. I had a lot of fun with that character. His bike, he was a great character to have along for the ride. Number 5, I put Madame Web. Yeah, she's not a villain, she's not a good guy, she's just somewhere in between. She's just a really interesting character. I loved her dialogue, I loved the mystery that was tied to her. I didn't know what was going on, and it's not even really revealed until the very end of the show. Yeah. I think if that never happened, I probably wouldn't have her in there, but because her story is kind of resolved in the end, it really makes for a really just out there character that I would love to see put into either, the next Spider-Man game or somehow swing her into a movie at some point. I don't know how they would do it, but she's a character that is really interesting.
They can find a way. Like Doctor Strange is in there, they can play around.
That's true. Number 4, I put Punisher. Love Punisher. Love his look. I love Micro. I love the battle van. And I love that Punisher's always a cool character because he's such a bad guy, but he's
doing it for the right reason.
He's doing it for the right reason. The classic character.
But the wrong at the same time.
Number 3 I put as J. Jonah Jameson. How can you not love this guy? He's hilarious in every single scene he's in, pretty much. His endless hatred for Spider-Man was just so much fun to watch. I love JJ. The voice was perfect.
Yeah.
Number 2, I put Mary Jane Watson. She has such a fun story throughout. A crazy story, a sad story. And just the back and forth between her and Felicia was my favorite part of the show, which leads into my number 1, which was Felicia Hardy. I put as my number 1 favorite character. Those two obviously, deservedly have 1 and 2 because that was probably the funnest part. Like, segments of the show is those moments that they squeezed in episodes where there was, drama between them. But Felicia Hardy has such a great story. Obviously, it starts out with just kind of being one side of that love triangle, but eventually turns into her turning into, a superhero.
Yep.
And, I mean, she really does good. She's not really a villain at any point.
No.
But yeah, Black Cat is a really, really fun character who gets a lot of screen time in the last 2 seasons, and it's a warranted and good transition that happens there. Yeah, I don't think I left anyone out, but I also forgot about Harry until 5 minutes ago.
So yeah, this was my, I guess you could put Robbie and then Harry, but I guess my original top 10. I had honorable mentions of Aunt May, should make my list, and Madam Web didn't make my list either.
I can't blame you on the Aunt May one.
Yeah. 10 was Harry Bosborn, like I said. Number 9 was Craven for, like Dylan pointed out. Anytime he was on, it was fun. I just love, he's a good, little side character of Spider-Man. Number 8 was, I put him at Murdoch / Daredevil. I really love those episodes. I've seen them a lot. I still have VHS of those episodes, but I thought it was a great representation.
You still have a VCR?
I do.
Nice.
I don't watch them on that, but number 7, I got the Punisher right there. Frank Castle.
7.
Could put him higher, but I like some of these. I guess some of these.
He's not in a ton of episodes.
That's why a lot of these ones are some of the OG characters. 6, I put in Morbius. Just a whole great arc as far as he goes through, same with MJ. Just a lot. He's a scientist. He's a vampire. He's a lover. He's looking for plasma, and I love him. I'm looking for more Morbius. Number 5, Kirk Connors. It's funny, his lizard stuff is actually not the best.
No,
I like when he's lizard, when he's kind of conscious, or when he's Kirk Connors. But the lizard stuff, not the greatest. But Kirk Connors as a scientist / moral compass was nice.
Yeah.
Number 4, I had Mary Jane. I bumped her for JJ just because Mary Jane. Sometimes I very much agree with her, and she's sometimes just been very assholish to Peter. But you know what? I bumped her for JJ. JJ's just perfect representation. J.K. Simmons did a great job in the movies as well, but he's so good. Jigsaw Jameson, love
Jigsaw
him.
Jameson, right.
Yeah. And then number 2, I have Felicia. 1 is Spider-Man, but 2 is Felicia. I love her. I'm a Team Felicia. I've said the whole time, get your shirts at Team Public. But whether it was her being Felicia Hardy, stuck up, or whether it was her turning into a nicer Felicia, being Peter's friend, and then maybe love interest of back just being friends, and then Black Cat, that whole story and deal. Very well done. I love Black Cat already. I love the dynamic they have in season 4 together. So, yeah, that's it.
Yeah, obviously I didn't have Spidey on my top 10 characters list, but he's the 0.
For the shit we give him, he's still the great. So, anything to say on this final episode?
Oh man, it's been so much fun. Like, this has been like the longest standing sideshow that we've done with Geekverse, and obviously we've done a lot of episodes of it between the show and the movies. It's been a lot of fun, and it's going to be... it's not really goodbye for Spider-Man, because we have a Spider-Man movie that comes out in a couple weeks, and then we have another one that comes out next year, so Spider-Man's big enough that he's always going to be around the block, but it'll be... I don't know. I said, the last episode is so good, and such a good send-off, that I'm feeling really happy with the end of the show, and moving on to some other retros next. So this has been a lot of fun, and... thank you for being along with it. It's been so much fun breaking this stuff down.
Oh, yeah.
A big shout out to Kyle. Obviously, he's not around anymore.
He stuck with us for 3.5 seasons.
I don't think he ever got to Black Cat, did he?
I think that was his ending point.
Okay.
And then, So, he stuck with us. He's very busy. But no, thank you and Kyle, because you guys took a shot, because I had an idea, and I just remember I'd seen it, and I was like, man, I'd love to rewatch all those, and I hadn't rewatched them in about 3 years, and I had a good time.
Yeah.
I also
Eventually Netflix abandoned us.
I know, it's so bad. Yeah, I had a great time talking about stuff I never thought I'd talk about. I thought we were just going to be talking about, Spider-Man and the villains, but talking about Felicia.
Yeah, it became a lot. There's a lot more depth in these shows than I expected.
Yeah, and I'm very happy with it. I think we had great quality conversations, some fun conversations, just what I like, and also just because then, it's also good just for the podcast. AJ, you learned a lot about Spider-Man, so now when you go into Spider-Man, it's like and seeing that other people might know, okay, I know about Mysterio's Hall cubes. I don't know if they're going to be in there, but yeah, it was a great time. I'm glad we did this. Like you said, I'm excited to do some other retros. We got some fun stuff on in 2019, but for the final time until now, we'll catch you on the web.
Boom. Spidey Retro.
Done.
In the bag.
High five.
That's a lot.